Ooh, you know what? Canadian water is much more friendly than the other kind of water. So this is Dorothy Wilhelm. We are swimming upstream, and this is the Crafty Canadian. Now we're going to have some fun today with my friend Sandra Solon, and she is Sandra, my dear. First thing, I asked you to send me your bio, and you did, and now I can't get to it today. So you must tell me, what did your bio say that you would like people to know?
Well, I'm well versed in lots of crafts. I do a pumpkin carving display here in Maple Ridge, British Columbia, Canada, every year for the last 10 years. I paint rocks for people. I've done some memorial rocks and also rocks for gifts. I'm well versed in all of the needlework, needlepoint, tatting. I make lace. So I'm pretty well rounded. I've been around for a while, and I like to keep my hands busy, and anything that's fun and doesn't require a lot of money, that's me. I make it at home.
That is wonderful. And I did want to ask you about the painted rocks. Now, here where we live in Lacey, Washington, there's a little corner where the walk comes to an end, and they're putting painted rocks in there. And they're very cute, different, how painted rocks are. They're all different things, very cute. Well, now, is one supposed to leave them, or is one supposed to pick them up?
Well, there are some installations, and we have the same thing here. We have a kindness snake that is hundreds and hundreds of rocks. So obviously you don't want to take, the middle of a snake out or his head. But the ones that you find randomly, it was actually started in New York. 315 is an area code in New York, and it was Ronald Reagan's kindness rocks. And from there it spread. It's all over the world. I've found rocks in South Africa, the UK, Washington, New York, all over the world. I've found rocks, and I've left rocks all over the world too. So,
well, now, can you do that? That brings up a good question. Can you just put rocks anywhere you want? I mean, you paint something on them, but
well, now when you seal a rock and put paint on, like the tempera paint is washable and biodegradable, but once you seal that rock, it can be considered litter. So a lot of your state parks, no. Our provincial parks, no. Street corners, urban areas, urban parks, that's a little bit different. But don't leave them in the forest. A lot of people get offended, and it is actually a litter component, once.
What do you do when you first start, if you are just putting out rocks for the first time? How would you, what do you recommend? What would you do?
Well, anywhere that children hang around, your rocks are they're going to get found. And there's so much joy in that. I had a young lady come to my door a couple of days ago with a whole basket full of zucchini and cucumber. And she said, "Hello, you gave me a painted rock when I was 7 years old, and I want to thank you." And she gave me a basket of vegetables. So I've been making zucchini bread and all kinds of goodies. So it lasts with the kids. They remember it, and it's a joy for them and other people. I leave them by hospitals or doctor's office. Just be kind or have a good day rock, or just a little flower. Doesn't have to be complicated, really.
There's something exciting about finding a painted rock, though.
Oh, I'm always thrilled. And I've been in the rock painting scene for about 6 or 7 years now. So yeah, I'm always excited.
Yeah, it's I have one over here on the table. In fact, that for my daughter's birthday, and I can't recall where I found it, but if she ever gets here, it's it's for her. So that's really great. Now you've got a craft for us today. What's the craft that you have?
I do. It's the funnest thing. So because I like to keep my hands busy, and we're traveling in a couple of weeks, I didn't want to have a big project. So right. I thought this would be a really fun one to do. And so what I'm going to do is like a little paint by number for you.
Really? I've done
Uh,
this.
it's just really fun, and anybody can do it. If you can't draw, don't worry about it. This is a great secret. Do you mind if I put my screen down?
No, that was good.
Okay. So here we have a little picture that I cut out of a nice artist magazine that my good friend Dorothy Willem gifted me, a bunch of magazines. So I went through and I found this little picture of the cats. Thought that would be a perfect thing to demo. So what I've done is I've got lots of these little canvas boards, and I actually repaint them and reuse them when I don't have enough, and I feel like, doing another painting. So
Sure.
So anyways, I picked these up at the dollar store. You get a 4-pack for $1 or so. So what I've done is I found this little picture that I want to copy. So I did a photocopy of it. Oops. I did a photocopy of it to get it the right size for my canvas board. And of course, you could blow it up to whatever size your board is.
Yeah, and I think Jason has a copy of those pictures for us. Jason, can you put that picture in there for us? Possibly, yes. Good old Jason.
Yeah.
There it is.
So you can see there I've got the little picture of the cat, and then I've got the photocopy, and then I've got my good old fashioned carbon paper. So I've just put the carbon paper on top, ink side down on top of the canvas board, and I simply put my picture over top of that and traced it out with a pen. And make sure you use a pen so you can see where you've missed. Or you might think that you've done it all, and then you pull it up and go, oh, well, I've missed half the cat. And you'll never get it back to the same place. So you can tape it if you want to. But anyways, the end result, of course, with the carbon paper, and you can get carbon paper anywhere at the office supplies. And it's so much fun. I tell you, the kids go crazy for carbon paper.
I was kind of surprised when you mentioned it because, carbon paper we used to use all the time.
Yeah.
And nobody uses it anymore. So
no, it kind of went this way of the typewriter, didn't it?
It did. It did.
Which I still have a typewriter. I don't know if you have, but I don't use it because it's an antique, but I still have one.
Yeah, but so are we.
That's right. That's right. We're getting better and more unique with age. So this is the end result. You can see how nicely this carbon paper marks on it. And you don't have to worry because the paint goes over the lines. So you won't see any of these lines. It's just like a proper paint by number here. So then I've got the colored picture and I've got my carbon picture, and I simply start painting. Now I've got these beautiful little paints from the last paint by number I did.
Oh.
So I'm going to use these, but you can certainly use any of your dollar store paints. They all sit very nicely on these. You don't have to have the right colors. I mean, you can make the cats red and gold if you want to, So just to have fun with it. And if you're giving it away to someone, you can put paint in little containers that you can buy the little tiny, little plastic containers with the lid and just squirt some in.
Let's see you bravely paint on it a little.
Okay. Well, I always recommend, and this is a good point, Dorothy. I'm glad you asked me to do that. Because you want to start with the big colors. You want to start with the large background colors. So I'm going to just squirt some paint on here because I don't have a little container here. So you know what I mean? Like fill up these backdrops first. And then you can go in and paint the cat. So, just practice your brush strokes and get right in there to the edges, and then do all. Like this is a bit confusing, but this is actually part of the wall, right?
Right.
And then that's the cat's spot.
Oh,
So you use these as a reference as well. I mean, I know this drawing pretty well because I've done it. But, you know, and just my recommendation is to fill in these big blocks first, because then your darker paints will ride over them and cover up any, you know, errors if you happen to go over the line or whatever. You can get all kinds of paintbrushes from the dollar store. I don't spend very much money on things. I like to have a nice craft that's going to come off easy and quickly, especially when you're dealing with, you know, impatient people, impatient adults, or impatient children. So you can see where I'm going with this. Isn't that cute? I mean, it'll just pop out.
And where is it going to be, like a card, or what is it going to be, or does it matter?
Well, it's a little canvas card, you know, board. So I would hang it on the wall, or I've got a whole bunch here in my room. I've got a little collection of little paintings. I've got a little elephant in the back there. And what I love about this is it keeps everybody busy for a little while. And again, if you want to reuse it, you can just paint it white over. A lot of masters reused every canvas that they had because they couldn't afford or whatever, right? So it just comes out really cute. And it's so easy because I didn't draw a pinch of this drawing. I just copied it. So, you know, everybody thinks, oh no, you've got to be talented, or I can't draw, or I can't paint. No, everybody can do this.
It does look good, I will say.
It's cute, isn't it? Yeah. I'm kind of attached to them. Probably keep this around for a little while.
Well, you have to finish it though.
Oh, I absolutely will. Right now, that's a bit of pressure.
Yeah.
But I certainly will. Yeah, I certainly will.
You'll want to see it when you have it finished now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send a finished picture for sure.
That will be good. And then I understand that you have a little bite of something good to eat for us to make.
Well, you know, Dorothy, with the kids going back to school and mom and dad going back to work and getting the schedule, I thought that it would be a nice idea to have something that you could put in your freezer. And they'll last for months in the freezer, and they're just minutes to make. So I have made a tray of assorted chocolate balls, coconut, chocolate, and in this case, peanut butter, which can be substituted. A lot of schools up here are not allowed to have peanut butter in the school because of allergies. So almond butter is acceptable to go. So there's just a few ingredients in here, and I'll give you a few secrets.
Okay.
I'll pull down because it took me a bit to make them, even though they're the simplest thing, because I microwave them. Now you've got to have a good sturdy microwavable bowl.
You microwave them in the cup there, the bowl.
Yeah, I just use this one because you know that it will be microwave safe. And microwave safe, and I don't know if everybody knows this, I didn't, means that the handle won't get hot when it's in the microwave. Because you put sometimes a teacup in the microwave and the handle's smoking hot. Yeah. And can burn you. So that is the difference between microwavable and non, is the fact that you can hold it and it doesn't heat up the handle.
I'm kind of not sure about that, but okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's whatever. That's north of the border information.
Exactly so.
Well, it seemed to make sense to me, but anyways, just be careful because it does get hot.
We can't tell what's going to get hot up here.
Yeah. That's it. So, and my only other than be careful, is the chocolate will burn in the microwave. So these little chocolate chips I put in, you just have to be really careful, 30 seconds at a time. My microwave is quick.
Do you just put them in a little at the time?
Well, no, I put all the wet ingredients. So what I'm going to do is put the stuff that'll melt in here first. So I'll have chocolate chips. I've got vanilla, my peanut butter, because I used peanut butter. I've got a little bit of coconut oil to put in very slightly, just to make it all smooth and kind of you're tempering that chocolate. A little dash of salt, of course, because that goes in everything. And then this recipe that I wrote down for you says honey, but I used good old Canadian maple syrup. And these things are flying off the shelf. Even the kids that don't like coconut are eating the coconut ones. So what all of those ingredients I showed you, and you do have the recipe, or I can post it. All of those things go in the microwave to smooth out and to melt down. Once it's a nice smooth mixture, that's when you add your shredded coconut and your oatmeal, because you don't want to cook them.
No, I don't want to cook them.
No, you want them to be, when the chocolate is all melted and everything's mixed in, then you add your oatmeal, your coconut, raisins, pecans. Yeah, and they're delicious. So then I just poured it out onto a parchment paper.
Wow, yeah.
And it cools down quite quickly. I was able to make a nice square. And look how delicious they are. They've got the chunky peanut butter.
And just to be sure I understood, so if our viewers want to get the recipe, we'll have it posted here on the alongside your picture. So.
Alongside my picture, yes. And they're delicious, Dorothy. And I tell you what, I got all of this product with a quarter of the recipe. I divided the recipe into fourths to get this much product. So wow. They're very reasonable to make.
And the kids love it. And everybody's glad to come home and find it there and everything.
Well, I keep them in the fridge or the freezer because they will soften like a chocolate bar.
Now, when you go on, because I know you have a trip coming up, do you take snacks like that along, like as hospitality gifts, or just to eat on the trip, or do you just leave them all home?
Well, I always try to take something to the UK, to my family, that involves maple syrup. So yeah, as long as they're not liquid or paste or gels, we can take them on the plane. And yes, absolutely. I take all my own snacks. You don't get very much nowadays. It's not like the days of old where they fed you 3 square meals and yeah.
Well, so do you have any other advice? Is there anything you found that is, these are foolproof? That is, anybody can eat them and enjoy them in general, or?
Absolutely. They're vegan, as long as your peanut butter is vegan, I guess. Yeah, so the only thing that I would suggest is, the peanut butter substitute. If anyone's got a peanut allergy, that can be quite severe. So you do the almond. If you're going to send them off to a group, I would recommend the almond butter as opposed to the peanut butter. I use chunky peanut butter, so the nuts were in it, but you can do smooth. And if it's too much chocolate in your bowl and it's liquid, just add more grains. You can add quinoa seeds or the chai seeds or hemp hearts. So it can be quite a healthy, I mean, you're adding a bit of chocolate, but it's dark chocolate. I use dark chocolate with this.
Well, it just sounds wonderful. I can hardly wait to try it. So now you're going to be going on a trip and you're going to be carrying a little snack with you. So these are the snacks you'll be carrying.
I have a little box, a little tin box that I'm going to put them in, and they'll stay cold enough in the stowed luggage. I don't want to get there and just have a big blob of chocolate.
that would be too bad, wouldn't it?
That's right.
Well, these things all sound wonderful, and we will be, as we put our different shows up online so people can come back and see them, we will have your recipes and everything on, so that will be good. How long are you going to be gone?
We're gone for the whole month of September.
Wowie, wowie.
Yeah, we have a well, the most important thing that we secured was the dog sitter. So
Yeah, I think so.
she is vital to the whole operation.
But you
So
got one.
yeah, we pegged her down before we bought the plane tickets, because yeah,
You got to.
she's our baby. And then yeah, so we get a week in the UK, and it's funny. My family's there, and I'm Welsh, not born in Wales, but I'm Welsh descent, and I've never seen Windsor Castle.
Oh, really?
So that we're going to do some touristy things, because you go with family and they show you all the secrets and stuff, but they not very many touristy things. And so, and a few of my cousins that lived in London all their life have never seen the castle either. So we're going to drag them out of the city and see some touristy things. So
that should be fun. Well, we will miss you, and you will be looking forward to hearing about it all. Try and get some pictures.
Oh, I will. And this will be after that. We'll go to Greece for 3 weeks, and it'll be my third trip to Greece, but my husband's first trip. So I'm looking forward to showing him around a bit.
How nice of you to take him.
Well, this time he's teasing me because the first time I went was in the 80s, and I actually went to the UK with a one-way flight that you were allowed to do at that time. Yeah. And I took the Magic Bus. I don't know if anyone remembers that from the 70s and 80s, but it was a bus that went from London to Athens for £20 nonstop. So I did that, and then I ended up in Athens at the end of the bus trip. So I had no love and no money. This time I'm taking both.
That is great. That's really good. Well, we'll see you when you come back. Thank you so much, and I can hardly wait to try those candies.
Oh,
now, didn't you show me something with the cats you had done?
I did a little drawing, a little painting. I've got 2 of them right here.
Yeah, because I thought they were quite cute.
I knew you maybe ask. I should have had them forward. But I did this little one, and this is a paint by number 2.
Oh, yeah. See, that was the one I liked. Why did you do that?
So this one, I did exactly the same technique. I found one, and this is one cat, Dorothy. I only found one face that I liked, so I just flipped it over and whatever. And I outlined it, and there you go.
Well, I got a message up here that our time is up. Why don't you bring that back when you come back, and because I want to see how you did that. So anyway, this is our dear friend, the Crafty Canadian. Look, there she is with stuff all torn up all over. It's very good. And we'll see you soon. Remember,
thank you so much for having me, Dorothy. It's always a pleasure.
Always a joy to have you here. So, this is a production of the SOB Radio Network, and SOB, of course, stands for Spunky Old Broads. And all of the hosts are women past 50. So anyway, we'll see you soon. Till then, this is Dorothy. Bye-bye.